Welcome back to our channel. Today's story is a powerful reminder that you're never too old to stand up for yourself. Our protagonist is a wise and resilient woman who outsmarts those who underestimate her. Let's see how she taught a lifetime of lessons to those who underestimated her. Our story begins with Farida, a 67-year-old woman who has always been underestimated by those around her. When she was young, people used to think that she was weak and couldn't handle herself, but she proved them wrong time and time again. Now, despite her age, she was still looked down upon by many, including her own son and his wife. She lived in a beautiful house that she had built with her late husband. It was her pride and joy, and she had always dreamed of growing old in that house. However, when her son Shirak announced that he was getting married, she was thrilled at the prospect of having a daughter-in-law to carry on the family legacy and make her old age more enjoyable. She welcomed her new daughter, Lala Sarah, with open arms and showered her with gifts. Unfortunately, though, Sarah was only interested in one thing: Farida's house. She had seen the size of the house and the expensive furniture, and knew that if she married Farida's son, she would have a lot of money to spend. She had no interest in love or family, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get what she wanted. On the day of the wedding, Farida couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. She couldn't put her finger on it. But something about Sarah just didn't sit right with her. Nevertheless, she pushed her concerns aside and tried to focus on celebrating her son's happiness. As the wedding festivities drew to a close, Farida began to settle into her new routine. She enjoyed spending time with her daughter-in-law and helping her adjust to married life. However, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Sarah seemed distant and cold, and she couldn't help but wonder if her daughter-in-law was only interested in marrying her son for his money. Her suspicions were confirmed when one day she found Sarah going through her personal belongings. When she confronted her daughter-in-law, Sarah denied wrongdoing and claimed that she was just trying to be helpful. Farida, however, was not convinced. She knew that her daughter-in-law was hiding something. Her instincts were proven correct when a few days later she heard a conversation between her son and Sarah. They were arguing about money, and Sarah was demanding that Farida give her ownership of the house. Farida was shocked. She couldn't believe that her own son would be willing to betray her like that. However, she was not one to be intimidated. She had worked hard her entire life to earn her son and his wife's respect, and she was not going to let them take advantage of her. The next day, Farida called her son and his wife to her office. She laid down the law and told them that she would not be giving them any money. She also warned them that if they ever tried to take advantage of her again, she would cut them off without hesitation. Her son and his wife were furious, but they knew that they couldn't argue with her. Farida was not only their mother-in-law, but she was also their financial support. They needed her money to pay for their lavish lifestyle, and they weren't about to lose it. In spite of her strong stance, Farida couldn't help but worry about what her son and daughter-in-law would do next. She knew that they were greedy and power-hungry, and she was afraid that they would stop at nothing to get what they wanted. However, she was determined to protect her hard-earned wealth and would do whatever it took to keep her assets safe. Little did she know that her son and daughter-in-law had already hatched a plan to take advantage of her. They knew that Farida was fiercely independent and proud, and they figured that they could use that against her. Their plan was to convince Farida to move into a nursing home so they could take control of her finances. They began by planting seeds of doubt in Farida's mind, suggesting that she was too old to live on her own, and that she would be better off in a care facility where she would receive 24-hour care. At first, Farida was resistant, but her son and daughter-in-law persisted. They told her that they would visit her often and make sure she was well taken care of. They even offered to pay for her nursing home, which was more than she could say no. When Farida finally agreed to move into the nursing home, her son and daughter-in-law were ecstatic. They wasted no time in signing her out of her house and transferring the deed into their names. Now that they had control of Farida's assets, they began to treat her like garbage. They only visited her when they needed something and ignored her the rest of the time. Farida was heartbroken. She had always loved her son and believed that he would take care of her in her old age, but she had been wrong. As the months passed, Farida began to realize that her son and daughter-in-law had betrayed her. She missed her home and all the memories she had shared there. She felt like she had given up the most important part of her life for nothing. Determined to take back control of her life, Farida began planning her next move. She reached out to her lawyer and told him to start divorce proceedings against her son. She also began to save money, hoping that one day she would have enough to buy back her house. Despite the pain and betrayal she had endured, Farida refused to give up. She knew that she was stronger than her circumstances and that she could build a new life for herself. With the help of her friends and family, Farida slowly began to rebuild her life. She found a new place to live and began volunteering at a local charity. She also started taking care of herself and began eating healthier and exercising more. Years passed, and Farida's son and daughter-in-law began to reap the consequences of their actions. Their marriage was a sham, and their relationship with each other and their son was strained. Meanwhile, Farida was thriving. She had found a new purpose in life and was living each day to the fullest. One day, Farida received a call from her lawyer. He told her that her son and daughter-in-law had agreed to a divorce, and that she would soon have her house back. Overjoyed, Farida drove home in her brand-new car. She had saved enough money to buy back her house and was finally free from her son and daughter-in-law. As she stepped foot into her house, Farida felt a sense of relief and gratitude. It was so good to be home. She had fought hard to get it back, but it had been worth it. She spent the next few years enjoying her retirement and making new memories in her beloved house. She volunteered, traveled, and spent time with her friends and family. Farida's story is truly inspiring. Despite the pain and betrayal she endured, she never gave up. She stayed true to herself and fought for what she believed in. It was her strength and determination that helped her overcome the challenges she faced and ultimately come out on top. Looking back on her life, Farida knows that she has made a difference in the world. She is proud of the person she has become and the legacy she will leave behind. As she grew older, she continued to face challenges, but she knew that she was not alone. She had her friends and family to lean on, and she knew that she could face anything as long as she had their love and support. Farida's story is a reminder that no matter how difficult things may seem, we should never give up. We should stay true to ourselves and fight for what we believe in. And most importantly, we should never underestimate the power of family and friendship. Well, folks, that's our story for today. We hope you enjoyed it and found some valuable lessons along the way. Don't forget to share your thoughts and feedback. Until next time, stay tuned for more amazing content. Take care.